Sports Wrap every Thursday 6 to 8 p.m. 2 exciting hours of pure exciting sports talk. The experts are in the house. Sports Wrap every Thursday evening only on the big station, only on Q95. Lock it in.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of your favorite sports program, Sports Wrap. My name is Lockhart Sebastian, and together with me is
Emmanuel Black
and
Thompson Fontaine. Good evening, guys. Great to be here.
And for the next 2 hours, we'll be bringing you all your sports news. We're going to have the manager of the Windward's team, Liam Sebastian, together with the captain, Ali Kafanaz, and Kevin Hodge, will join us at some point. We're also going to have the PRO of the Football Association, Mr. Emmy Lawrence, who will be telling us about the upcoming football season. I think Thompson has some breaking athletics news he'll be furnishing us with. What's his name? Cedric Harris himself is going to be talking about his athletics meet where his club went to Matnik last week. So a lot of stuff for you in the next 2 hours. But you know, Thompson Lobby, we lost the Caribbean, lost a major music icon. And we just want to probably just say something about Peter Morgan. I'm sure you would have heard about the death of Peter Morgan of Morgan Heritage.
Sebastian, look, they had a special touch, very melodious reggae. And one of the songs I love about him is when he said about you don't dread, you're not to be dread to be Rasta. I love that song.
So which song you like the most?
You don't dread to be a dread, do a dreadlocks to be a Rasta.
You don't have to be dread to be Rasta.
I love we're gonna hear that song, man.
Get the dreadlocks thing.
The dreadlocks thing, you know.
Because
for the meditation from the heart. Yes.
It's a family thing, as you know, these brothers. So
yeah, you see, at 46 years, you know, it shows that we are just passing on this earth, you know.
Yeah, the guy just started living. Yeah, just started living.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I've been this way. We just look.
He got.
We have to do the best we can on this earth.
Well, yeah, Lobby, let us get you a little verse of the song you like the most. Let's hear it, man.
Yeah. A raga, so a raga. Oh, yeah. You don't have to try to be Rasta.
Blasting from the past
of the heart. You don't have to be Rasta. This is not a dreadlocks thing. Divine conception of the heart.
Powerful music.
It's a life of a liberty, lived by the fathers of our history. Uphold the ancient and prophecy, trust in the power of the Trinity. Yeah. Got to believe in His majesty. Oh, yes, His lineage and divinity. The first step is sovereignty, knowing oneself true royalty. Yeah. You don't have to try to be right. No, this is not a dreadlock thing. Divine conception of the heart.
Yeah.
You don't have to try to be Rasta. This is not a dreadlock thing. Divine conception of the heart. No. Don't be afraid of your ever burning fire. Trust in your fire and you'll never get burned. The fire that rains over heat, air and water. No water can put out your fire. Your fire gonna live Rasta higher. Don't have to try to be Rasta. This is not a dreadlock thing. Divine conception of the heart. You don't have to try to be Rasta. This is not a dreadlocks thing.
Right, so may his soul rest in peace, guys. I mean, he young age, Peter Morgan, who died. Ronald, were you a fan of Morgan Heritage?
Yes.
Good night, by the way. Ronald Landa just joined us. Were you a fan of Morgan Heritage?
I was a big fan of Morgan Heritage. Interestingly, when the third edition of the World Curon Music Festival, we had a Dominican artist.
I'm not hearing you.
Go on.
We had
You hear him, Lobby, now?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ronald.
Yes.
Are you hearing him? Thompson, are you hearing him?
I don't think the mic is connected. We can hear him from the video, but the connection is not coming through as you are.
Oh. Go ahead, Ronald. Speak.
Yeah. Are you hearing me now?
Can you hear him now?
Not loud as you.
But Lambi can tell though. Lambi can tell if it's coming through.
Yeah.
On the,
Yes.
Are you hearing now?
Right. No.
Right.
Yes. Very good.
No,
Interestingly, on the third edition of the World Curon Music Festival, we were scheduled to bring in our local reggae artist. He's from Petit Savan.
You mean Nasio?
Nasio Fountain. And we ran into some problem. And we had to bring in Morgan Heritage as a substitute. And Papa Morgan said, boy, after that festival, the only song they had was Down by the River. Papa Morgan said, after this festival, the World Curon Music has boosted up Morgan Heritage. And from there, Morgan Heritage just ran away. Song after song after song. So we did contribute to the development of Morgan Heritage. And Peter Morgan was excellent. Very, very excellent. And I hope his soul rest in peace.
And Thompson, I don't know if you read where they said the sales of the album have picked up since his death.
Yes.
Big time.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
You see, Sebastian, you have to understand that in terms of the original reggae, Bob Marley gone, Tosh gone, look around you have. They are the one who have maintained it. The bit maintained.
Well, may his soul rest in peace. A young guy.
Yeah.
He made his contribution, but he still have his brothers, grandfathers,
and sister.
Songster. So, fill up. But gentlemen, there's something I want to bring it to your attention. Ronald, Thompson, Lobby. And nobody seemed to be talking about that. Last week, Friday, we had a press conference from the police, right? Where it was said that the police have discovered a major plot to more or less, how I look at it, it was tantamount to a coup, if you ask me. No, you're laughing. They said they discovered a plot where people associated in the meeting are going to cause unrest. And like I say, Lobby and Thompson, according to what the man say, it is tantamount to a coup. And I'm going to read what he says. And you must listen well. I'm going to let's hear what he said. The man who's supposed to be the chief lawmaker in Dominica. And that's why I say, and if you listen well, he says, and I quote it, it's reported to have said, some of the threats are to procure gasoline to burn the city of Roseau. There is also a threat to create an island-wide blackout to facilitate the commission of illegal acts against persons, including the Minister of National Security, Rayburn Blackmore. Now, can you imagine Roseau being burned down? Burned down, right? Now, to burn down Roseau, it has to be an elaborate plan, in my opinion. You would need dozens of men and women to plan that, to obtain gasoline wherever, drums, vehicles, and then you have to be already to know about electricity to really cause the island to be in darkness. And can you imagine Roseau being burned down, the police station burned down, people in total darkness running in chaos and confusion, a stampede, people probably running the river, all people shouting, they say, Suku, Osakabwile. No, nobody laughing at that. It's a serious thing.
No, but Sebastian, listen to Sebastian. When I heard this, all I told myself is just the opposite, is to cause disruption in the activity. That's the whole thing about it.
Nobody in any serious country, that man should be in the cell.
But of course,
listen, if Thompson Fontaine had made a comment like that, say he knew about guys going to burn down Roseau, they would have arrested him.
Yes, it's important to know that This police, they have zero credibility. This is the same
Zero.
police in 2017 that said we are going to overthrow the government with a truck and a
Right.
PA system. So they have no credibility. I mean, I was arrested in
I know.
2017 on account of trying to overthrow the government of Dominica on absolutely no evidence, nothing. So they made those kinds of pronouncements. The last time Roseau was burned down was in 1784 by the French. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody's going
okay.
to burn down Roseau.
No, but he
I mean,
didn't
it's
say
laughable, really.
they plan to burn down sections, He said they plan to burn the city of Roseau. The guy to
Completely
fabricate
absurd.
something like
Completely
that
absurd.
to cause chaos in the country, to prevent people from going to a little meeting. And not only that, and I'm saying, Thompson Ronald, I cannot believe now in Dominica, professionals have to stoop so low to
Like
you're a
the
professional
Sebastian.
to try to have a job. I cannot imagine. And to be honest, who going to waste their time to harm Black more? He said about the part of the plan was to harm the minister. Nobody's going to harm Black. In fact,
For what? Why? Why would
no,
anybody
not exactly. Why would they have Black more? Who would waste their time to do that? And I don't find this guy has said that, and people have been quiet about that. I personally think that guy should be locked up for that, for causing a stir in the country.
tumultuous disturbance? That's what
Yeah.
she was trying to cause in
A coup, the man is saying men were planning a coup. Because if you burn down Roseau, if you put the island in total darkness, that is like an overthrow, it's a coup. It's tantamount to a coup. And
But
he's been allowed to get away with that. And people are not
Sebastian,
thinking about that.
the first thing that should have been said with such a statement, and if it is credible, we have arrested X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z. That's all.
And
But
Lobby,
what we
under
saw-
Dominica's law,
but
you
what
can
we saw,
detain
Sebastian-
people. Hear that, Lobby? You can detain people for 72 hours without charge.
On suspicion.
I-
On
Yeah.
suspicion. So if you knew or you have an idea, men should have been locked up in the cell on Monday, whatever. But to come up with this fabrication, man, it is that we ever call on the line. My goodness, man. And everybody's quiet about that. Good evening. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
I just wanted to make an observation regarding this police report or whatever they say they were going to do to Roseau. Did we forget what happened after Maria in 2017? Roseau wasn't burnt, but Roseau was destroyed. All businesses were destroyed and vandalized and damaged. They didn't do nothing. They couldn't do nothing. But they worried about what they see on social media. Nobody else didn't see it. They alone that saw what they thought was going to happen, and there was no plan for nothing to happen. And when it was actually happening in September, October of 2017, they couldn't do nothing. They did nothing. Good job. Good program.
Thank you.
Yeah. What I would like to say on this matter is that I spent 15 years as the director of the Financial Intelligence Unit. And whenever you have intelligence, you act on the intelligence. You don't advertise it. You act on intelligence, you take necessary action, given the quality of intelligence. But if you have Beth, you can do nothing about Beth. You do not advertise intelligence. You act on
You're right.
intelligence. Please,
You're
guys,
right.
remember that. You get intelligence, you act on the intelligence. You go,
Yep.
you look, based on your information, you do your investigation, and you take necessary action. If it means detaining people under suspicion for 72 hours, you go
Yep.
ahead. And this is how you deal with intelligence. You don't advertise it. But if you have Beth, you can advertise Beth. You can say whatever you want and enjoy yourself.
But Ronald, happy you said, but what I'm saying, and you made the point, if you had that kind of information, what the right thing would have been to arrest people, don't make any comment, and then you can have a press conference if you have exhibits of gasoline or whatever, and you have the men, but to go and fabricate something like that, probably trying to scare people about an impending coup, and I call it a coup, because if you burn Roseau and you put the country in darkness, that is like a coup. And because you burn Roseau, the police station, the policemen will be defenseless. Guns burning, the armory burnt, everything. I mean, come on, we have another caller. And the man is getting away with that. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yeah.
But we have to buy a lot of gas to burn down Roseau. And the classic about it is, who put the country in blackout? Domlek. So Domlek would have to be part of the plan.
Well, I don't know who was he
No,
who had to be this
they're
man.
saying that. They're saying the country would have a blackout. Common sense can tell you that. The only people that could put the country in blackout is Domlek. So when you hear them men speaking and when they got the two men, they say that spoke about that there. All they did was question them. Their question was Brian Linton. What did Brian Linton say? How did Brian Linton say? All they questioned them man about it. The main thing was about Brian and nothing to do with it. See, why I don't know what happening to us in that country. All they do was try to scare people from coming to the meeting, but thank God the people didn't think for that. Meeting was very successful, and we're hoping that people can act on next. Our work date on Monday. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah, we have more callers. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Sibo. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Good evening.
Do you realize because of they're saying that is when more people come out?
Well, exactly.
And then now, if you have to look, the people in that gang on that side, on the red side, most of them not smart, stupid people alone that is there, They're followers themselves. You're too short. Thank you.
Thank you. No, but as I say, this is a serious thing. Thompson Fontaine is before the court runner, our friend. Edison James, Leonard Clinton, for bogus thing. This guy is supposed to be the chief man in charge of the police in Dominica. He comes up with that kind of fabrication about an impending coup. You burn the city of Rover and you put the country in darkness. That is like a coup because there'll be a stampede. People are running. They don't know where they'll be running to. Total darkness. All people, you have to be transported. Man, this to me. And that would be like chaos and confusion.
But
and the guy getting away with that.
Sibo,
yeah.
Do not forget what happened to Gon Emmanuel. The guy came out and testified. Remember what the chief said?
Mm-hmm.
He said they're looking for an arsonist. He said looking for an arsonist, Remember that?
You're right. Yeah, that is true, Lobi. Lobi, you have to get your brother. You remember when they tried to burn Grotto, Double L sang a song, Yo Bule Grotto. So you probably have to sing a song, Yo Bule Oroso. That's why you probably have to sing a song, Yo Bule Oroso. Because this to me is red, and I'll make the point again. If you cannot have professionals in Dominica have to stoop like that to survive. A man is commissioner of police and he's saying they're going to harm a man nobody would harm or wants to harm. People wouldn't waste their time to do that.
Will you check? I understood that they were checking vehicles trying Kenfield for what?
All over the place. Stop there alone that no lobby. All these are tactics to dissuade people from going there. That's all. These are part of the tactics and it backfired. That's all. It backfired. Nobody was taking them on. And I say it doesn't happen in Dominica that a chief lawmaker could come up with that sort of fabrication, trying to scare people about a coup. Let's take another caller. Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Lovey, what's up?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Well, we have landed there, there's Thompson there as well. Go ahead.
And all the rest of the listeners. You see, when we Dominicans listen to those type of stories, that is just to show us what the people and them concoct about Mr. James and them and Mr. Linton and them. You see, you just have to listen to those stories there and know what story they make about them to have a kiss.
Thank you, caller. Another caller? Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Sibo.
Yes, hi.
That is the man himself. Good evening to each and every one of all here.
Yes.
Goodbye, my brother.
Yes. Let me tell you now, that is the biggest joke I ever come across in the history of Dominica as a commissioner of police, I don't think Mr. Finn, before he said what he wanted to say, and even in case all was checking on vehicles, by all with machine guns, checking on vehicles, if it's license and these things, and to pay government a little fine for having their license and unpaid vehicles. This thing was dangerous to our country, and these fellas must stop them things what they're doing there because it's don't call for, and people get trained on their vehicle have been frightened. These people don't know what they're doing now. And Mr. Commissioner, don't be a fool, my brother. That's your partner. The man himself, you're exactly speaking there. I know you're preaching at the pulpit, and that is not your ways, my brother. Do your work as a man. Show yourself if you are above, my brother. Bye-bye.
And you know, the caller just made the point about he's a preacher. How can a preacher be concocting lies like that? A preacher, you
But
preaching
my
the word
minister,
of God. You're supposed to be preaching the word of God.
let's
Eh?
go.
No, he's a preacher. You just let the caller say he's a preacher. He
Yeah.
has a congregation preaching to
Okay.
people. And not, we have another caller. Good evening. Hello. Good evening. Don't listen to your radio caller. Hello. Okay, we lost him. Yeah, and concocting stories like that, man. And like I say, it's just unfortunate that gone are the days, these things never happened before, where professionals would do that. People, the Ronald Thompson, you guys work in the civil service, Lobby, all of us, people who do their work, they haven't got to bow to somebody to survive. You're already the acting commissioner. What more you want? What you have to please the guy for? To tell stories like that?
But Sibo,
Uh-huh.
you realize that, gentlemen, that is why Mr. Wicks could never have been chief of police. He would never, surrender to that nonsense. Never go out on the radio and talk this rubbish. Never.
No, but you say rubbish, but these guys know what they're doing, you know. They plan that thing, he know what he's doing.
But Sibo, I look at that as thing that should be thrown in the garbage tin. That's just garbage talk.
The guy should be that guy should be sent on leave, administrative leave or something like that. A person who does that should be sent on leave, honestly.
As London made it clear, Sebastian, when you have intelligence, you don't come out and talk intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
You deal with it, you look and you know what you have to do. But don't come out and talk this nonsense on the recession. Younger people are arrested as a serious thing.
Yes. People planning a coup. They're going to buy gasoline. Next caller. Good evening.
Good night, gentlemen.
Yes, good night.
How do puppets operate?
Well, you tell us.
By a string pull, right?
Well, yeah, I would think so.
Well, the commissioner is a puppet, my brother. I'll realize that by now.
Okay, that's you saying that. Okay.
True or false?
No, well, you making your comments, sir. You make your comments.
He's a puppet. His string was pulled. He was giving a speech. He much read it. Who runs things in Dominica now? The commissioner, no? Okay, good night, sir.
All right, good night. Donna caller, good night. Good evening.
The commissioner, I wanted them to see as he become commissioner, he make a big headline. But it's a headline so.
And I even understand they had a match for this man with police were matching for him in Roseau. They understand. Police. Another caller. Good evening.
Yes, Sibo, you and crew, Sibo.
Yes.
The man.
Yes.
Sibo, don't let them fool, some fraud like that fool you talking about them a preacher, right? They ain't a preacher, man. That's the thing they do. What they come up with the nonsense. After them guys show you how ignorant, that's why he came up with that thing, but they're going to fly through outside. Only a moron come up with something like that. But anyway, Sibo, I just want to big you up when you give a big up to Peter for Morgan Heritage. Because I knew them guys very young. When they first came out, they did a performance with Nashu in a place way down in Maryland named Wilmer's Park. One of your co-hosts said he was from Nashu, from 57. From what I've known, he's from Bataka. He's from
Bagatelle.
Area. Where you say it's from? Bataka, no? Is that what you said?
Is it
No,
Bagatelle?
no, he says Nashu was from 57. You know, but it's a place in Bataka.
Bagatelle.
In that area.
Bagatelle.
Bagatelle is Grand Bay.
At the back of Grand Bay. 57, Bagatelle, Grand Bay.
Right, close by.
Yeah.
From Bagatelle.
Yeah, but same way. Anyway, when I was singing a Morgan Heritage song, just when you said that, it's quite ironic because the song just parallels Dominica. You just take out Jamaica name and put Dominica. It's a song that they have, the power don't seem to care. It's a song say, it's about, let me tell you, it says, here in Jamaica, so many people still a fight Rasta. Tell me how come, that's the chorus, they tell me how come they never catch Billy Man, but them catch sister. The power don't seem to care. Not people love the prime minister the same. Just listen to that song and you hear the parallel. You just take out the sweet paradise Jamaica and put in Dominica. All the lyrics fit perfectly because of the double standard with the injustice system and how the people follow people blindly. Just listen to that song. Great lyrics, man. I'm listening.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate that at this stage, Dominica is crumbling. Dominica is disintegrating. And we've got to try our best to see how we could retrieve Dominica. What the statements made by the Commissioner of Police is a negative social indicator. There are a lot of other negative social indicators, and moreover, there are many negative economic indicators. I can't elaborate on the negative economic indicators on this program, but I trust there will be a program involving Thompson at some time or the other where we can speak about those negative economic indicators. But we must try to retrieve Dominica soonest. The public service, the private sector. We are disintegrated. And if we don't retrieve Dominica, our next generation, our children, going to be in a worse situation than Haiti.
Mm-hmm. Somebody just said Nassau was from a place called Cadbois between Bagatelle and Pete Savan.
Yep.
So that's what somebody said. Cadbois. Okay, guys, we'll take a break and hopefully when we return, we should have. Well, let's take one more caller and then we'll take a break and we should have the cricketers. We know what's people there. Good evening.
Greetings, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Comment
fait ça?
People go to listen to that man in church.
Well, the man is a preacher.
You mean the man is that good at interpreting Bible scriptures? That man is capable of interpreting Bible scriptures. I am saying that Rosa doesn't deserve to be burned, but all these guys deserve to be burned in hell. All of them deserve to be burned in hell.
Well, no, we wouldn't endorse that caller. We don't want that sort of thing on the radio at all. So I will apologize on your behalf about burning something. Nobody wants to burn anywhere. I mean, either find this nonsense the guy spoke. We mustn't endorse it or encourage it at all. Nobody wants to burn anywhere. So we will take a break. I want to resume. I think we have Kavem on the line already. So hopefully we should have Liam and Alec in a while. So we'll take our first break.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tile, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Sports Wrap, your dynamic, riveting weekly sports show on Q95.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Sports Wrap, your dynamic, riveting weekly sports show on Q95. The entire Sports Wrap, your dynamic rip.
And we're going to be discussing cricket. We have with us the man who just made the highest first class score just last week, Kavem Hodges. Kavem, good evening.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
All right, and with me, Ronald Lander. There's also Dr. Fountain and Emmanuel Loblack.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, gentlemen. Hope everybody is well.
Yeah, good evening, brother. Continue doing well.
Thank you
Good night,
very much.
Kavem.
Good night.
Well,
Good night.
Kavem, your manager and your captain, I don't think your captain knows here, so the manager is waiting for him downstairs to bring him up to the studio. So they should be fast any time. But Kavem, while we're waiting on them, tell us about that inning. I watched it, and what I was happy about the following morning when Gillian stayed with you, the partnership was what? He probably made what? 5 runs out of what? 60, 70?
Yeah, that's right.
And I was impressed with that when you took over that morning. And tell us about that, man. Tell us about that.
I've played some cricket with Tyson for a long while. I mean, I know his capabilities. I've seen him bat in the Dream 11 T10, and I know he's able to hold his end. So, I mean, I wasn't worried. As soon as he came in, I knew that I could turn over the strike from ball 1. It wasn't a situation where I had to think, boy, should I give him 4 balls? Should I give him 3 balls? I just batted him like a normal top order batsman, and that made things, a lot more easy for me. And it allowed for the team total to take over and for his total and my total to take over. So it was very easy for me. It was just a matter of speaking to him. Obviously, it was his first innings at first class, just to letting him know, hey, it's no different from what we've been doing before. It's just bat and ball. Just once the ball is on your wicket, defend it, and once the ball is in your zone, you'll be confident and be sure. And execute. So that was basically it.
And Kavem, I've seen Gillian back, and you've seen him too. In my opinion, he's one of the cleanest strikers of a cricket ball in Dominica. He batted totally out of character in that inning because that guy can strike a ball, and that's why I was impressed with him in his first class match. And he could at least listen to instructions from you. That made his innings even better because that guy can strike a ball. Honestly.
Yeah, and I think that shows a lot to his character and his understanding of the game and playing smart cricket. I mean, the situation called for him, for us building a partnership. He could easily come and swing his bat and say that's how he plays. But I think we had a team total in mind, obviously trying to get to 400. Obviously, that didn't transpire, but we put a really good partnership together, and I think that would give him a lot of confidence in future innings.
Yes, Kavem, that was 158 not out of 158 cannot out.
To be honest, at the moment it felt like cannot, but I would go with not out. Chedwin Park is a really nice place to play cricket. The wicket is really flat and hard, so I think it was just a matter of sticking to my strengths and focusing very hard and for long periods, and it paid off. So I was really happy for that.
Yes, well, we've been joined by Liam Sebastian, one with Thompson, and Ali Kafanaz himself, the captain of the Windward Islands team. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night. Good night.
Well, Ronald Lander is here, Dr. Thompson Fountain is here, Low Black is here. So, gentlemen, we have a lot of Liam here. Yeah, so Ali can have the. So the first question I want. Thompson, you had a question. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say congratulations to Kavem, and to his great innings in the Windwards. But I was really impressed with his performance in Australia and that innings that he really steadied the West Indian ship, and that's what really allowed, at the end of the day, Sharma to do what he did. So we really want to congratulate him, and also on his commentary. I think that commentary went viral when he commented on the Bills, and it was so well done that he was able to bring attention to the bill that did not move from a pace bowler ball at a close to 150, per hour. So congratulations to Kavem, and just continue to be steady, continue to do what you're doing, and we're all proud of you, man.
Yeah, man. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Liam, the question to you: when you all got to Jamaica, Alec and Kavem weren't there yet. What was in the first team meeting? What were the goals of the Winner Islands team for this year?
The goals for the team remain the same. Whether Alec is there or Kevin is there, because at the end of the day we have one team culture that we preach. So they not being there, it was basically next man up, and what the message basically comes from the players themselves is that they didn't want to go through what happened last year, when on the last day where we were all set to be the champions, whatever happened in Guyana, and Guyana won the championship. So the players felt, that pain, and just themselves wanted to do it for themselves. And Alec and Kavem themselves would have been encouraging the group from Australia. So it was, yes, they were overseas, but they were still basically part of the team in terms of them encouraging and just motivating the guys to go out and perform.
One thing I noticed, any one of you can say, Windward Islands this year, first 3 matches, the first over 300 every inning. And that's something that's unheard of. In time gone by, you probably got to something, but every inning. And what special emphasis placed on the batting this year? Alec, captain, you can answer that.
I think like the manager said, I think the guys, most of them are just hungry, and like he said, this is the next man up. You don't want to leave it for somebody else. So I think most of them are hungry and they don't want to leave it in the hands of anybody else, like what happened last year. So, I think, a lot of attention was placed on the batting, yes, but more mindset and everything.
Yeah, I must commend the Windward Islands, especially the manager and our 2 players, and now a 3rd player, Mr. Tyson, joining the team, for a very excellent performance so far in the first 3 games. The Windward Islands have been showing a quality of cricket consistently that I've not seen previously. What has gone into the programming to allow the Windward Islands team to perform at that spectacular level? The bowling, the batting, all over. And now with the 2 West Indies players coming on, Afanaz and Hodge, there is another further concentration on what's happening. I heard some reviews from a guy from Trinidad or Guyana speaking about the batting performance of Afanaz and Hodge and how they were so very professional in the execution. What has happened, Mr. Manager? What has happened? What has happened with the programming to allow that quality of performance?
Well, as one of the things maybe can attribute it to, cricket is now a business, is not really a sport anymore, because you get paid to play and it's a job, so you have to perform to stay in your job. And again, the over the years, people have been looking at Windward Islands as sort of to say whipping boys or so on cricket. That tag has been diminished a while now, but the respect level that the Windward Islands teams get is not as great as you would expect some of the other teams. And the players themselves understand that, when they go up to play against these guys, maybe they maybe just come from a different country, not in terms of skill set, that they are on par, maybe even better than some of them. So the players themselves have done a lot of work in terms of working on their craft, and what needs to be done at that level, and understanding that getting into the West Indies team, they have models in their own group. They have Kavem, they have Alec, and it's no longer a far-fetched scenario that they could get into the West Indies team. So they themselves motivate each other in terms of doing what needs to be done to get to the next level. And to get to the next level, they understand that their performance has to be at a certain standard. So it's sort of internal motivation. And one of the things that maybe you may not see from the outside is that a lot of work has gone into the team culture in terms of working on improving and support for each other. So that in itself creates an environment where people can come in and be comfortable and not feel under pressure that, okay, maybe you not belong in here or that sort of thing.
Kevin, I don't know if you want to tell us about that celebration when you got to 100. What was that about? I saw you when you jumped, and then I saw you looking towards the pavilion. Tell us about that celebration when you got to the 100.
It started from a couple of years back. We had one of our teammates who's not on the team currently. It's a celebration that he always do. It's basically saying, put me in your environment or put me in your body and you spoil, that means I will take over the scene and show you how it's done. You understand? So it kind of seeped into the team culture, and it's something that we always did on the field. You know, the bowlers would use it as a celebration. You know, so it was just a way of me continuing that. You know what he started, and you know, just showing that hey, we still are a family, even if he's not wrong. But that's the kind of, and it's an attest to the environment that we have currently. Everybody's enjoying each other's success. You know, a lot of happiness in the background, and everybody's moving in the same direction. So yeah, just basically a continuation of what's been happening.
Louis, have a question?
If I could, yes, let me go ahead. I'll come in.
Yes, the first thing is this. Congratulations, gentlemen. You all have what, Sebastian? 3 out of 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Always remember that you'll be targeted right now by the teams. So you have to stay focused, do what you're accustomed of doing, and continue working hard. And always remember, gentlemen, that you and Hodge, when you're playing for the West Indies, always remember where you all came from. Stay in the crease, enjoy your batting. Don't throw your hands away.
Yeah, just on your point in terms of what you said. Well, thanks for the congratulatory messages. But one of the things that we try not to do, and Kavem himself made mention of it at the last meeting, that from the players themselves, they understand and they do not want to go through what happened last year. And what happened last year was very, very painful. We were basically, well, champagne was ordered already because we thought that we had secured the championship, and then some miraculous thing happened in Guyana. As much as we're not thinking of championship yet, because we still have 4 games to play, we're taking it one day at a time. And that's one of the things that we drive home almost every morning, that yesterday's gone. We can't do anything to change yesterday, but we're going forward. So we say next project as we're going along, and then we're just taking it day by day. It's a good thing to be targeted, as you just said, because it means that you're doing something good. And what has happened thus far is not a fluke. And as we have said to the players, because in the 4-day version, for sure, the team has improved a lot over the past couple of years. So credit must go to the entire group for the hunger, as you said, and I'm sure Alec and Kavem can speak a little bit more on that.
Tom, so you wanted to ask a question?
Yes, sure. Just before Ali and Kavem comment, I wanted to first of all say my congratulations as well to the Winmore team, and you guys make us feel proud. But Alec, I was thinking about this, and I realized that your stint in Australia was not as you would have liked. It did not go up. I'm sure it did not go according to what your expectations going in. And I'm wondering how much of that experience in Australia and not getting into the runs as you would have liked is now framing your approach to this championship in the West Indies, and you feel the need to probably pile on the runs. Because I heard you mention mindset earlier on, so and I'm very much keen on asking about that, and in terms of the way you use the experience is gone to actually influence your performance going forward.
Well, to be honest, my approach, I'm an aggressive player, and that may never change. I may be a bit more wiser and a bit more decisive in what I do, and that is where experience comes in. But the experience was really good. I would have loved to get into the runs in Australia, but some of the times you have to be smart. You have to understand that things like this happen, in order for you to learn for it. And I have no doubt that if I go back, don't get second time around, will be better because of my experience. And it helped me to understand certain conditions and be a bit more patient, even if I'm an aggressive player. But my approach will never change. My mindset, and I may operate differently in different conditions, but in terms of like being aggressive and stuff, my mindset won't change. But I'm definitely a bit more hungrier for runs. I'm like a child. When you starve a child, every little bit of thing you want, and that is how I feel about runs. I love scoring runs, and I love scoring runs quickly. And seeing that I didn't get any in Australia, my goal is definitely to dominate this tournament and try to get my confidence right back up where it was.
We have a caller. Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yes.
Yes. How you all doing? How you all guys doing?
We're okay. We're good.
I want to say congratulations to my guys. I've been watching them all through all the matches. I've been sitting on my chair and just looking at our guys play, and I'm very, very impressed with our guys. Yes, good evening.
They hear you. Go ahead, talk, Willie. We hear you.
Yes, I'm saying I'm very impressed with the guys. And Calvin, I want to say congratulations to you for that 100. And also Arsenal, I want to say it was really a brilliant inning. You came there, and because of the weather, you just take the game away from them guys. And that's how you have to play cricket when you're chasing a small total. Calvin, I really love the way you bat. You spend time at the crease, and you really, really have the patience, and you build the inning. And that's what 4-day cricket is all about, building an inning and not being busy. And also, Ambrice.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst Ambrice was really beating the ball around, you stayed there and you really focused on remaining there and batting and building the inning. The match against Barbados, I really wanted you all to really thrash Barbados, and I was very happy when I saw what you all did to Barbados. And a few positives I saw on the team. You see, Mr. Springer, oh my God, this one is a brilliant all-rounder. I would really want you all to encourage him and just work with him. He's a real, real good all-rounder. And when I saw how he bowled Bradford, I said, yes, that was a ball. And Mr. John also. He's not fast, but he's moving the ball, and he's really keeping the ball on the right spot. So all in all, I want to say to you all, continue to do the hard work, and let us take the championship this year. Last time I was in Trinidad when you all were working to win the last match, but it didn't work because I met you all in the airport. And I really, really love the Windward Island. And you all are my guys. I want to say to you all, continue to push. All right?
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much. Next caller. Thank you. Next caller.
Yes.
Next caller. No, hold on. So we're not getting caller. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Sibo.
Good evening.
And everybody on the panel.
Mm-hmm.
I want to congratulate Calvin and Anthony. But there is a question I want to ask Anthony. Sibo, you don't want Saturday to talk to Anthony. There is a reverse shot. How you call it? Reverse
The reverse sweep.
How you call it?
The reverse sweep.
And I used to get out. And once I say what I used to get scared, I say, Sibo, please talk to Anthony and tell him leave that shot alone. So I'm just asking Anthony, have you left that shot alone or you?
Okay, before he answered, hold on. You know, Alkan and I had a chat before he went. Hold down the line, and I said to him, I'm not going to tell you how to bat. You choose what the best shot to play. And what I would say to you, caller, he hit about 4 or 5 fours with the reverse sweep, what he made 58 not out. So he can answer now.
I have not left it alone, and I don't think I will ever leave it alone, because it's like for me, it's like somebody making twins. It's something special, and that is what really makes me different from the rest. So I don't think I will ever leave it alone, because if I have to break it down to you why I play it, then you would probably tell me, it's when you really understand why I do it, it's a good option.
So you're more comfortable with it now?
Yes, I am. I practice it a lot.
Very good. Okay.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Always there to make some useful contribution. Yeah.
I'm not too sure the position if Calvin, if he's still with us.
Calvin, are you there?
Oh. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Calvin.
Okay.
Hold on. There's a caller. 1 minute, Ronan, and then you ask him. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good
How
evening.
are you doing?
Hey.
How are you doing?
Hi, what's up, Mr. President? Your guys are here.
Yes. Good night to the guys in the studio. It's always a proud moment listening to you all. Alex, I noticed you under pressure for one of the shots. I felt you played better in the last game.
Always.
And And Kavem hasn't come to claim what I promised him. So.
What is that? Plenty money now? You are
Wrong M. The next M.
Maybe mango.
I told him if he score 150, I will have to climb a mango tree again for him.
Oh, okay. I thought this money you bring in like Mr. Abdullah. I thought this money you bring in for him.
But where getting that?
I don't know.
So I just really driving and listening to the discussion, and just want to publicly encourage the guys to keep making us all proud. I think they are showing what the best we have to offer, and they keep pushing. And I know for sure they are two very hard-working cricketers. It didn't just come by day, just scoring runs in one instant. It comes from the long, continuous work they have been doing. So to anybody out there listening, I just want, especially the cricketers, to emulate the work ethic and the determination these two guys have displayed over their period of playing cricket. And we just want to wish them well. And we look forward to great things. Great show, and I am listening.
Thank you, President. Thank you.
I'm of the firm opinion that Alec and Kavem are excellent cricketers. Not only their batting, but their fielding and their bowling. I think they should be a little bit more bowling, But they are very competent cricketers, and I trust in the future they're going to continue performing at a high level, retain their peak on the West Indies team, and I hope that Alec will be considered for the T20 World Cup, given his style of batting. I hope he'll be considered. What I would like to see happen, I want a response from Alec and Kavem on that. In your communities, how do you interface with the young people in your communities? Seeing that your success story, your role model, how are you interfacing with the young people in your community to influence them to improve on whatever they're doing? It may be cricket, it may be something else.
Kavem.
Go first.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So
I would let him go first because he posts exactly that a lot. So
Okay. All right.
Right. So in my situation, I probably might not be able to, directly influence cricketers, to follow my path per se. But what I try and do is, especially in the schools, just try and make the environment a bit more, how I would put, attractive. Just try to encourage children, to go to school, spend time in school. Because for me personally, that's where I start playing a lot of cricket, in the schoolyard. So, any way that I could give back to the school, supplies and coming around and speaking with them, just to, show a face that they could relate to is one of the ways that I try and give back. Because, obviously it's very difficult. Not even fathers can influence their own children. Well, I don't know how people do, but not even fathers can influence their own children to follow their path directly. So, obviously, in whatever way I can, make the environment more friendly for students and the younger ones, then, I would try by that avenue.
Yeah, well, similar to him. What I may do is, or what I did last year is that I went to the high school, and probably had a chat, not more than half an hour, with mainly cricketers. And give away some gears and stuff, just to encourage. Because when I was going to school, I had to fight my own way for gears, and it was very difficult. And cricket gears are very expensive, so it was very difficult to actually play the cricket without gears. Try to do something you love and you don't have the funds or anything to get the gear. So what I try to do is, give away gears whenever I can. I hope my sponsor isn't listening, but I give away a lot of gears when I do get. And I ask for right away. So, but that is what I try to do. I try to give away gears and try to speak to them, encourage them to play the cricket. And a lot of young people these days, they're motivated by more materialistic things. And if they could see, what playing cricket and doing something you love could actually earn you a living, then So I'll just try to make that clear to them. Try to stay off the wrong path and try to play cricket and just be dedicated.
Okay, you got. Hold on, let me only ask a question. Go ahead.
Huh?
You wanted to ask a question?
Yes. I just heard Alec talking about what he does when he gets to the school in terms of gears, but in terms of Alec and Hodge. Now you all are professionals right now. It's not just going on, but in terms of your preparation, is very important in terms of talking to the kids, young people, that you have to prepare yourself physically and mentally. Is very, very important. This aspect, of in terms of our sportsmen is lacking a lot. Everybody love to bat, love to bowl, but in terms of the physical preparation is very, very important. What emphasis that both you and Hodge place on that, gentlemen?
Hodge?
Well, you guys have to answer. Question goes to you guys.
Oh, well, for me, well, everybody know I'm kind of a train monkey. I mean, I like to train, I like to bat, I like to run, I like to hit the gym. Well, it's very important for me. I mean, I believe in giving myself the best chance to do well. There are a lot of things that, especially in cricket, you cannot control. You know, the conditions, the pitch, the ball, or whatever is happening. You might get a good one on a day, but whatever you can control is, your preparation, and I'm very big on that. So, however I can, how I eat, how I train, whatever the case is, I try and focus on that as much as possible, and then, hopefully I get some luck along the way. So yeah, that's basically it.
Well, for me, well, we live together most of the times. Kevin and I, so we train a lot. We train together a lot and stuff. And I also love hitting the gym.
That's
I
good to
don't
hear.
like running. I don't like running as much as he does. But I mean, I know that I have to stay fit in order to give myself the best chance to stay out there longer. So I run as well. And well, I mean, we love training. We love to challenge each other. So I guess that is where the hunger comes from, and that is where you see the camaraderie come from when you see us on the field, whether it be bowling, batting, or fielding. So
What
I know
about
you-
nutrition? Nutrition thing.
yeah, I mean, like I said, we live together. So whatever he cook, I eat. Whatever
Okay,
I cook,
local.
he cook, so. Yeah, local. And we could, two of us could attest to that. We love our local stuff, our provision.
Praise God.
Because we struggle a lot in Australia, and I could tell you can't really find no fig and dash in Australia. Mainly some
Steak and so.
I wouldn't say steak, a lot of junk. But I mean, we burn that as well in the gym. So.
Right, train right. I like to hear that.
Also, Jamaica was very refreshing for us.
I know that.
The yam and dumpling.
Yep.
We have another caller. Hold on. Good evening, caller. Good evening. Hello. Hello. We lost that score. By the way, latest score, Australia recover. Enough 342 for 9. The last wicket partnership going well.
Wow.
Cameron Green, 138 not out. Hazelwood, 15 not out. So it's 332 for 9 now. Caller, good evening.
Good evening. Good
Yes.
evening. How are you all?
Good.
I would like Gavin explain a little about Shama Joseph in that test match in Australia with that broken toe. Give us a little explanation about how he was feeling to bowl that so well in that test match.
Both of you can answer. One of you all, either Alex or Kevin.
Well, I don't. His toe wasn't broken. It was busted at the head, so it had a lot of blood on the inside and stuff like that. And obviously he was in a lot of pain. So I think the physio, the doctor had to give him an injection to numb the pain, and that's how he was able to deal with it. Because I think he wasn't even supposed to turn up to the ground. But I think 5 minutes before the bus left, the physio told him, just come to the ground. He turned up without playing clothes, had his warm-up clothes, and he had to come on the field with someone else's clothes. And then they had to send back the liaison officer for his clothes at the hotel. He bowled some balls in warm-up, and he decided, he felt okay after the injection, and that's how he ended up playing. So the rest is history.
Literally.
Okay, guys, you all have four more matches. Huh? Tom, you were saying something?
Yes, no, I wanted to ask a quick question because I wanted since we have thousands of Dominicans listening, I wanted both Alec and Kavem to just give us a sense as to how they felt as two Dominicans meeting in the center there in Australia, what it meant to them in terms of history, in terms of being Dominican, and how they felt just at that moment, knowing that we've not had much success in terms of West Indians coming out of Dominica. and what it meant for them as individuals. That's a very special moment.
I
in
wouldn't
Australia with the party
I
together.
wouldn't take it as far as being Dominicans, but Kavem and I, like I said, we trained together a lot, right? And our goal, our dream was always to play for West Indies. We met in the wicket at Winwood and we battled a lot together there. But I mean, it was really good spending that time with him and actually getting to play for West Indies. Living our dream and doing it together. That is one of the first things I said. I think we said when he came to the wicket. You know that we live in our dream and we're actually doing it together and stuff. So obviously it is a really good feeling. Making the international team, playing for the team, but doing it with one of your best friends. And seeing that you guys trained together and you actually prepared together to live that dream together. It was very, very special, I would say.
Next caller. Good evening. Good evening, caller.
Yes, Sibo, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, let me say good evening to the West Indies cricketers there.
Good evening.
Gavin and Atana.
Good evening.
So, I would like to ask these two cricketers there a question as to their plan, their idea, their feelings, their sentiment when they're in the field. I just want to bring a little color, a little race into the injection there. How does it feel when a white man? Because I watch Viv and them play, Viv and the old time Starboys, and it's like I could feel, we're going to knock all you down, man. It's like, dominating black and you could actually see Viv like, I'm going to cross you all, man. Do you all have that feeling in all you and that bravery and that courage, and you could see Viv going behind that line of that ball and dispatching that all over the place for 6 and 4. I would like to see that kind of attitude, and I don't know if that is inside of all you and how you approaching it and how you viewing it. Yeah.
Oh, to be honest, we don't look at it like that, where we want to dominate the white men. We don't look at it like that. I think it is gone past the stage where there's a fire in us, yes, but I guess it's to dominate and to actually be one of the top players in the world. So I mean, we have that fight in us, and a lot may show it differently, but I don't think we are at that stage where you say where we want to dominate the white men, or they can't come and do us what they want on the field or this and that. We more looking to dominate the cricket itself. We don't really focus on opposition. We more focus on what we have to do on the cricket ball and this kind of stuff. I would quicker be more hyped about the crowd than the opposition we're playing against, because a lot of people feed off the energy of the crowd.
I think we have another caller. Plenty callers for you guys. Good evening, caller. Good evening.
Good night.
Good night.
Kevin and Alec. How communication, how all you guys communicate between the 12 with you?
With our eyes. we don't speak. The thing is, we play a lot of cricket together, so we don't speak that much. We don't speak that much in the wicket, because normally we are very good judges of the cricket ball, where we know singles, we know when to up the game and this kind of stuff. So we don't really speak that much. You hit the ball and I look at him and he knows definitely that, I want to take a single, I want to up the game now. And we complement each other a lot, because he is kind of the ice to my fire. When I look to dominate or probably try to take control of the game, he is always there to, cool me down. And, like they said before, he has a lot of patience. So he's always there to cool me down.
Liam, Alec, Kavem, you guys have 4 more matches to go. You have a big lead of 18 points now. So you now have to plan, because after what happened last year with Guyana, to me it was hard to sell out that game against Guyana. Right. In fact, I myself was watching the game and I was stunned. I was shocked. I couldn't believe that happened to West Indies cricket. To me, I felt that there should have been an investigation, to be honest. So you guys have to know now, 4 matches to go. If you win 3, you surely win the championship. So what is the plan when you guys leave at Tuesday next week to go back? What is the plan when you guys start back again?
The plan is to take it one game at a time. The plan is to plan carefully and try our best to take it one game at a time. Stay in the moment, and try not to think of we have 4 games ahead and focus on opposition and stuff where we could really focus on ourselves and focus on what we have to do.
Yep.
Yeah. You're the manager, so.
Yeah, well, they go back before me. They go back 2 days before me. So the training restarts on Monday. We have 1 week of training, and then we go to Trinidad next weekend. I think it's a situation of not getting ahead of ourselves. Is that we know the situation of the table, but that can all change with 1 game. One team wins a game, and if we lose, then we're back to equal points or close. So we're not taking it. We haven't been mentioning championship in the dressing room, to be honest, because it's still a long way to go. 4 games of 4-day cricket is a lot of cricket. So what we're doing is basically when we get back to the training camp, we stick to the same processes that we followed when we started, and just reiterate that there's no room for complacency. Let's basically start a fresh season in the next 2 matches. And if we can look at it as that and the players keeping the hunger, I see no reason why they cannot continue that performance. Because as I said earlier, the performance that is happening now is not just this season. That is a continuation of the good performances that has been happening over the years. So once we keep them level-headed, I see no reason why they cannot go out and continue to perform.
We have another caller. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. I want to give God thanks for these 2 young men and the manager. Listening to you all very articulate and you're a good public speaker. But to the 2 batsmen currently, Alec and Calvin, in Australia you had Stark, Cummins, and Hazelwood. Which of the fast bowlers give you a challenge that were kind of more difficult to play in the fast bowlers in Australia?
So overall, I would say Cummins he gave the most trouble because with Hazelwood, you know exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to push you back, both some short balls, some length balls, and then he would come full outside off stump, wanting you to drive. That's his plan, outswingers. And obviously, Stark would bowl the in-swing of the new ball and then just slide one across you. So, that's his plan with the odd short ball. But I think if Cummins, he would just run in and bang the ball on a good length. Just bang it on a good length, and some would shape out, some would shape in. So you never really know exactly what is it he's trying to do. So, Cummins was the most difficult to face. In terms of bouncers, I would say Hazelwood, because it's always at you, always at your head. You never get any time or any room to, to express yourself. So, that's basically it.
Tom, you were going to ask a question, no?
Let Alec respond now.
Sorry.
But Alec was going to respond to that question.
Okay, sorry.
Well, for me, it was Hazelwood because it's different for me because Kavem is a right hand and they shape the ball away. For me, he was shaping the ball back in and giving me no room. So, and even my style of play, I love to score and score runs all the time. So it was kind of difficult because he was just on a length and not really giving me anything to score. So for me, Hazelwood, Cummins, would bang the ball in the wicket, but Cummins would try more things. He's more aggressive, so he would be at you all the time. So he might give you something. Not might, he will give you something. Stark would definitely give you something, but Hazelwood was the one that really, because even when I came to bat, I know definitely that they would start with him because he would never give you nothing. Man, they would keep me quiet, then bring somebody else on, and then I would try to score, and that would lead to my downfall.
So why don't you try to rotate the strike, take a single?
The thing about it is in you when you just come to bat, obviously you as an attacking batsman you're more vulnerable than somebody that would, let's say, be a bit more patient and stay in the wicket like Kavem. So me looking to get off strike and the fields being set square because most of the balls are above my navel height. So it is very difficult to play back to them. So most of the balls would be square of the wicket, and that is where they would have the fielders stopping the singles. So it was a bit difficult, but I mean, like I said, I feel it will be better a second time around if I go down there.
So you think that they were bowling a plan towards you? They are planned towards you.
I mean, they plan towards everybody, but I mean,
top batsmen in the West, they look at you all.
I mean, yeah, they plan towards everybody, but I mean, obviously, they plan for different styles of plays. So if the normal aggressive player and they know I like to score, obviously keeping me quiet would play on my mind, and me loving to score all the time would, obviously probably lead to me making a mistake before somebody that looks to bat time. So I mean, they bowl really well, and Kavem batted really well in Australia.
Yes, on this point there, in the second test, Shamad Joseph deserves all the credit that was given to him. But we should not forget that Kavem, as you just mentioned there, Alec,
Right,
Kavem
and
Da Costa,
the keeper.
The keeper Da Costa set the base for us to
true.
win.
Silver, you
Yeah, I
The
said that before.
Silver,
Yeah,
the Silver.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Kavem got 70, and I think the Silver got 71. I was hoping they would have converted that to centuries, and that was the base.
True.
That base was set, which is very, very important. But then coming back to Kavem and Alec, in terms of your development, what access do you have to coaching and personal management of your financial resources, management of yourself, management of your mind?
Manage myself.
What about coaching?
Well, I mean, obviously, I train whenever I come to Dominica. I train in Portsmouth with Sam. So that is really the most. I go to train every 2 days, take a day off in between, a day where I go to the gym and relax and take a walk with my dog or something, just to clear the mind.
Okay, but just to make before Kavem comes on, just make that observation to you, Alec. Please manage your financial resources judiciously.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're going to be making money. You were on the list for the IPL. I understand you were on the list. You were not called up, but there was a long list and your name was there. Given your ability, you're going to be earning significant resources.
Yeah, I have my money under my bed.
Let's move on. Let's talk about
Yes,
the week now.
yes. I wanted to ask a quick question to
Go ahead, Thompson.
to Liam. Liam, in terms of the competition this year, which of the teams you think provides the biggest challenge for the style of play? We are winning what is now. Which of the teams you consider to be the most challenging?
Well, we don't single out teams in terms of a particular challenge, because maybe if you look at it on face value, I'm sure maybe you wouldn't have expected us before the match to beat Barbados in
right.
2.5 days. What we do, we don't underestimate any opposition, and in fact, what we said to each other playing against CCC, that maybe is the toughest match that we will have for the season. And so far, that has been the toughest game that we have had against CCC. And on paper, before the match, you would believe that Windwards would roll over CCC maybe in 2 days again. So we don't underestimate anybody. But the good thing about it is that we don't fear anybody anymore. Is that so? We don't turn up to matches saying we're playing against Barbados and Barbados has this person or that person, because
No more name.
in our dressing room we have players of equal ability and standard. So when we turn up to play, it is basically, we follow our processes, we follow the plans that are set for the teams, and then we go and play cricket as, with mano a mano. So we're not taking it as, okay, we're playing names, Barbados, Jamaica, that sort of thing, because as we said to the guys, I think that even serves as motivation to beat the teams. And so far for this season, the game against Barbados in the dressing room, we had extra motivation to really beat them because of the way they carry themselves and certain things that happen in the match that we wouldn't speak of. But we don't turn up to the game saying that, okay, playing against Guyana that we're fearful or this or that. We're playing against Trinidad. We respect the opponents, but we don't fear them.
Excellent.
Yes, but looking at the thing, I would think the Leeward Islands might be a bit of a challenge, to be honest. I mean, you watch Trinidad, I think we win what you roll over Trinidad. You have the academy team, Guyana, but Leeward Islands might be a bit of a challenge. But like you said, the way they played, they should be able to get past most of the team. The batting is strong, the bowling itself is strong. And I want to talk a little about Cyrus, though. That sort of bowling is rare in the Caribbean, and Cyrus looks to me as a wrist spinner who could go very far. Anyone of you guys can answer. How do you rate Cyrus, the right-hand leg spin bowler?
We rate him very highly. I'm one of the captains that believe you must have a leg spinner because obviously they bring some sort of mystery. You have the googly, you have the leg spin, you have slider, you have all different kind of delivery. So I'm one of the captains that believe a leg spinner is a must-have in a team because obviously you have a piecer that you could use as a wicket-taking option, but as a spinner, you could use Cyrus as a wicket-taking option as well. It may be expensive, obviously, because leg spin is a very difficult art, but we rate him very highly. And over the past couple of years, he has grown. Because I don't think you knew him that much before, but he wasn't pitching as much as he is now, and a lot of us could sit and watch him bowl very well now because the amount of work that he has been putting in. It is really good to see how far he has come.
Yeah, because that sort of bowling is very, very rare in the Caribbean. Yep. In fact, I saw the young leg spinner from CCC himself. Took some 7 wickets against Jamaica, I think. Yeah. You're right, I'm like a 17-year-old boy. In fact, when I saw him playing, I was wondering why that boy was in the World Cup team, man. You have a right-arm leg spinner and googly bowler, that ability, and I couldn't understand why he was in the World Cup team, to be honest. Anyway, guys, we have to wind up. Now, I know Liam, Ali, Kevin, you guys leave on Monday. We want to wish you all the best. We hope Windward Islands, you don't have to go with this relentless pressure on the other teams. As I said to Alec one before he went, you have to have a goal. You have 4 more matches. Look to get to 300, get to 500, 600. Kevin, you started already. So the goal is for you guys to keep making runs and for the Windward Islands to keep winning. So then you can have a nice big party around the 18th of April. Guys, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just before you leave, there is one thing I would like you to take into consideration. There is a young, talented Dominican who was the captain of the West Indies, Stephen Pascal. Yeah. And I would like you all to have some discussion. The captain of the Windward Islands team, the manager of the Windward Islands team, Mr. Masley. Please have some discussion to see the possibility of involving Stephen Pascal at that level. He may not necessarily at this point in time come in your first 11 because your first 11 is very competitive. But just having a run with you and training with you and so on, assist him in developing his skills.
But you keep talking about Masley. They say, shallow. The president and then should get involved with it. They're not selectors. I keep saying that. And you put in pressure on them to ask them this question because Masley can't bring in anybody, neither can Shallow.
It can be discussed.
It's a question for selectors.
It can be discussed.
So I would like you to put pressure on them. Yeah.
True, that's for selectors.
But just as an aside, when you are a selector, I'm certainly sure that person's lobbied you. So if you have a substantial case, people should lobby, people should discuss and see how they could get a positive.
Well, any good selector should not listen to that. I'm telling you straight, you should not listen to them at all. Because some people know nothing about cricket and they come to you and so you shouldn't listen to them. Anyway, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a break now, guys. Take a break now.
In Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Sports Wrap, your dynamic, riveting weekly sports show on Q95. The entire Caribbean is listening.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Sports Wrap, your dynamic, riveting weekly sports show on Q95. The entire Caribbean is listening to
Okay, we are back. Well, we were supposed to be speaking to the PRO of the DFA now, that Lawrence, but he's just called to say that he's on the road now and whatever. So, Thompson, I remember today you said to me you have some breaking news in athletics.
Yes, absolutely.
Now.
Yes, I'm going to talk about it in a while, but just before, I wanted, since we're talking about cricket a while ago, I wanted also to big up Shane Chillingford, who celebrated a birthday just last week. And as you know, Shane was really one of the greatest that we've had. And I just wanted to give you a big up. Just remind our listeners that he had 6 5-wicket hauls, 3 4-wicket hauls. Twice he took 10 wickets. And in fact, he's second in all time in terms of consecutive 5-wicket hauls. So I just wanted to drop that in. But the point I wanted to make about the athletics, and is, in a way, it's a sad story, but I wanted to bring it to the attention of our listeners. And it has to do with Kelvin Kiptum. And I'm not sure, Lobby, you must have heard about Kelvin.
Yeah,
accident.
Oh yes.
Yes. So Kelvin. So there was just the funeral of the 24-year-old
marathon
Kelvin Kiptum, who did something extraordinary in terms of the marathon, one of the most exciting things. And then he raised the prospect of a human being possibly going under the 2-minute mark in the marathon. In the Chicago Marathon last year in October, he shattered the record of his fellow Kenyan, Kipchoge.
Right.
And the first person ever to run 2 minutes. He ran 2 minutes and 35 seconds, 24-year-old kid. And the world was abuzz with him. That was only his third marathon, and he had already established that. And it looked like he was on his to becoming something that a lot of people believe is not even possible. But the fact that he made it to, he just have to strike of 35 seconds. The people felt that possibly he could do it in his lifetime. And sadly, he died in a car accident. He was driving his car and he crashed. And both he and his coach, Gervais Hakizimana from Rwanda, they died in this. But you know, it is really very, very sad, because when you think about it, Kenya has done a lot for athletics.
True.
But they've also had a lot of mishaps. And I have a list, and you will not believe this.
Last week, last week, a guy got the finish line.
It has a list. I have a list of let's see, 10 or so of those Kenyan athletes at the very prime who've actually died or been injured. And in fact, we have David Lely, who is an All-African silver medalist who died in a car crash in 2010. Francis Kiplagat. Kiplagat, that's the name of the area where, in fact, where the Kenyan athletes train. He died in a car crash. He was a marathon winner in 2018. He died in a car crash. Nicholas Bett, he won the gold 400-meter hurdles in the World Championship. He also died in a car crash in 2018. Samuel Wanjimi, who won the 208 Olympic marathon, he fell from a balcony in 2011 and died. And then more recently, Agnes Tirop, who is a multi-cross-country world champion, she was stabbed to death by her husband. But in addition to those who died, you had Rhodesia. We remember Rhodesia, this brilliant 800
accident
double gold winner who was involved in an accident.
He lucky to
There
be
was
alive.
also Moses Tanyo,
Tanyo,
a 10K
right.
meter world champion, who was also injured in an accident, and Paul Tigat, who won Olympic silver in an accident. So I say that to say that with all of the success that the Kenyans have had, they've had a tremendous amount of tragedy. And the worst is possibly the death of this young man.
Yes,
At the
I'm
age
telling you.
of 24, who suddenly had all of these interests in the marathon running, all of this speculation, because, you know, one of the biggest hurdles in track and field was at one point was the 4-minute mile, and who was the first human to crack that mile. I believe the marathon, somebody running under 2 minutes, is a bigger achievement, something that thousands of marathoners have been trying to do over all of those years. We saw even when Kip Choge, with all of his brilliance, with all of his talent, even when he was assisted, he was aided. You remember that thing 2 years ago in London, he was assisted with different runners under artificial conditions. He could not go under 2 minutes. And then this guy on track, possibly to have that feat, died in the accident. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention of our listeners. It is very sad for someone heavily involved in track and field. And Mano, you know when you see that, when you see those kinds of tragedy, it really does something to you.
Yeah, but you see, I'm Fountain. Besides that, also Kenya, gentlemen, they lost. You know about Henry Rono, one of the great. This guy, you know, we talk about greatness in athletics. This guy broke 4 world records in 81 days. In the 15, in the 3,000, in the steeplechase, the 5 of them, 15, 3,000, 3,000 steeplechase, the 5,000, and the 10,000 meters. In 81 days, Henry Rono of Kenya, he died last week. You know,
yeah, that's what I missed. Yes. Yeah, no, so it's, I mean, they've had a lot of tragedy, you know, and the amount of young boys dying through car crashes is really something that they have to look at.
Yeah, and while we're on athletics, gentlemen, do not forget this weekend coming is the World Indoor Athletics Championship.
In Scotland?
In Glasgow, yes, Scotland.
Yeah.
And we have again, we have one athlete there who qualified from last year, that is Fiela, who has been jumping well. She's really in indoor. She's been doing very well indoor. And I'm expecting her, since all goes well, to be a medal contender. But you see, while, you know, I'm reading from the DOC, you know, talking, you know, congratulatory message, looking forward for success. But gentlemen, who are the advocates for a track in Dominica? Do you hear from the Athletic Association? Do you hear from the DOC? Do you hear from them?
Let me hear your voice. So this is the number platform now.
No, but platform, Sebastian. On no platform. I have, before I left Dominica, you know, I have been advocating, I've been talking. Last week, Mr. White said a piece of land. Somebody said when they passed, it's so full of grass.
Yeah, you know? I was one who said that. It's really a tragedy. 30 years ago, Sibo, I was the secretary of the DAA, and we were talking about an all-weather track. That was 30 years, man.
But look, it comes to Lobby, Ronald. It's not only in athletics. You know, you go wrong Barbados, right? You guys went to school in Barbados. You see grounds all over the place. You go to St. Lucia. You look at Dominica. In fact, right now, the Windsor Park is going to be out of commission for probably 3 months. They're working on the pitch area. So football is going to start. They can't play there. You don't have grounds, and the government is not developing playing fields around the island. You look at Grand Bay, you look at Londonderry,
but
Marriott,
and the few we have, they're taking it away, you know.
Look at
the few that we have. No, I was saying that the few that we have, they're also taking it away. Not only are they not building new ones, but they're taking away what we already have.
But
it
you
is
see,
really a tragedy.
You see, gentlemen, again, yes, you have sports rap, but I'm saying what our sportsmen and women are doing. What are they doing? Where are their voices? Look at the forecourt in the Windsor Park. It's a zero place now. There's no netball, there's no basketball.
What do you mean no? What do you mean no? Only now?
No, I'm talking about now. It has been it is worse now. All right. What are they doing? They have to squeeze by the cemetery in Bath Road. I mean, to say to play a basketball. It is hurt. But coming back on track and field, gentlemen, you have to wonder if we had a track in Dominica. You understand in terms of tourism, sports tourism.
In fact, as we talk about track, Cedric Harris is supposed to be calling us to tell us about. Maybe that's him calling there.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. I don't know if it's him. I said it. Let's see if it's him, and Lobby will come back to you. Good evening.
Hey, good evening. Just a slight correction. When Thompson was speaking of the marathon, he said 2 minutes. It's not 2 minutes. It's 2 hours.
2 hours. 2 minutes. Wow. It makes it 2 minutes. In my excitement, yeah, obviously. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Connor. Nice to know you're listening. Right. Nice correction.
Somebody
let me go back to you. Lobby. Let's go back to you.
Yes, Sebastian, I was talking about the track. We're talking about the need for a track. First of all, the fear. We have had, don't forget, before fear, we had Jerome Rome in the World Championship who got a silver medal in the triple jump.
In 1991.
Right. Now, with this track, tourism, sports tourism, if we had this there during this, we have an all-weather in Dominica. We are in the Caribbean. You know how many athletes she could have taken down to Dominica for training during the summertime, during the winter?
Yeah, but Sibo and Manu also see what has happened with Grenada. Look at the number of athletes that are now representing Grenada at the Olympic level, at the very highest level, and doing well because of that development in the track and field. They got it.
Look at St. Lucia.
Yeah.
Look at right now they have besides Jamaica with their female sprinters. Look, St. Lucia right now. Julian Alfred.
Yes,
one of the top female sprinters in the world, and who is top. To me, I'm expecting her to win the gold medal in the 60 meters in Glasgow. So far, she has the leading time
in the Olympics for sure. Absolutely.
Huh?
I said I agree with you. She's challenging for the top position.
I'm telling you, she has the fastest time in the world right now in the 60 meters. The only person who has gone under 7 minutes, 7 seconds. The only one. All right. I mean to say, when I look back, Fountain, where we were in the OECS days, where we all had grass. We were forced to reckon with.
I remember when we used to take our athletes to St. Lucia, it was grass. All of us were
we were forced to reckon with.
90s. It was all grass. And
we produced, I mean, just look at the kind of, it is sad, you see athletes don't have, but Harris, they had to be training in the gardens. I mean, this is ridiculous.
No, but seriously speaking, I mean, the people sometimes talk about politics, although politics affects everything here. You heard a lady from Newtown saying how she spent over 100-something thousand on a playing field in Lubia. Now, let us get serious. A playing field in Lubia looking for votes, that lady who would tell people to swim and do all kind of nonsense. Couldn't that money be used? The Londonderry playing field, for instance, there's a school close by. You develop that playing field, put proper stands there. A field the school could use. You have the Lio Park. Lio Park is probably like Jurassic Park now. Nothing's happening up there. You have Jubla. To me, the only grounds you really have now is Jubla and Portsmouth, because the Windsor Park you can hardly use it, and that is a problem we have in Dominica. Say it again.
And I said on Stock Farm, but you can really use
Stock Farm, yeah.
Stock Farm.
So it is not a problem we have in Dominica where our young people just cannot get places they can recreate up to play sports. And the people that matter, that call it, say they're in control, they just will not do anything. And most of them do nothing anyway. So that's why people should do nothing next week, honestly.
So, Sibo, You said that the PRO of the DFA is unavailable.
Well, listen, I spoke to the gentleman 3 times today. In fact, he said they were supposed to have a function tonight at the DFA. They're supposed to be starting football next week. We agreed that he will come on. In fact, we had to switch time because he was supposed to come first and Liam and them would come after. Call back and say he would come because they have a function at 5:45. He would be on from 7. And then we get this message saying that he's probably going home to Grand or something like that.
So, are you aware, Sebastian, that Dominica played 3 games under 20 and we got close to 20 goals?
I know that, of course, in Trinidad. We know that. Well, all these questions we have to ask him. We have to ask him all these questions. Because, the other thing I've found, too many teams go overseas and unprepared. And every time you hear this sort of results, you go in, it was under 15 goal, women, every time you hear this sort of thing, people go unprepared.
But Sebastian, I have spoken about the foot. You remember he went up about coaching. All the islands are improving. They're getting the same grants from FIFA. You're getting the same grants from FIFA. FIFA helping all the affiliates. And I have said already, we need to get help from the outside. You need to get somebody who is good, stationed at the DFA office, who will be able to help your coaches. They are not, look, in 2024, 20 goals, in 3 games. It's ridiculous, man. That is unacceptable.
Well, it goes back to the level of preparation. But Sibo, earlier I was talking about strategy in sports, and on Sports Wrap we give the everything. I just wanted to point out very quickly, if you guys
go ahead,
heard of,
take your time, sir.
If you heard of the conviction of Daniel Alves da Silva.
Man, that was so sad.
Will know one of the greatest. In fact, he's the most decorated footballer of all time. 45 senior titles. He won everything.
The Brazilian footballer.
UEFA, Brazilian, he played for over 16 years for Brazil. And imagine playing for 16 years for a team like Brazil. You must be something special. But unfortunately, in December of last year, he was accused of raping a young lady in Barcelona, in a nightclub in Barcelona. And he was just sentenced today to 4.5 years in prison.
That's lucky.
He got 4.5 years, yes, of jail time. Plus, he has 5 years probation, and he has to pay 150,000 euros to the victim. So in a way, he's lucky he got away 4.5 years, but also it's really sad. It's a sad day. I saw the pictures of him in court today, and it was heartbreaking.
Daniel,
and that's why when athletes have to know their limits. When they get to that level of prominence, and always that
and Fountain.
Always.
Don't forget also Drogba on a drug ban.
No, Pogba.
Pogba.
Pogba. Okay.
The Frenchman here today. 4 years in the ban in Italy. 4 years.
Well, his career is done then.
It's done. Well, we have. Let's take a caller. I see. Maybe it's Cedric Harris. Good evening. Hello. Good evening.
Yeah. Early on, you all were discussing the deficiencies in playing area, especially for athletics. But I think the fundamental problem in Dominica is the absence of development planning. We don't have a plan. We don't have a vision where we want to be in 5 years in sports, in athletics, in football, in cricket, where we want to be in agro-processing, where we want to be in other areas, in agriculture, in tourism. And we just go on a day-by-day basis. And consequently, we lose sight of the big picture. I hope in the not-too-distant future, we can put together an integrated development plan to address those critical areas. And Thompson, that's something right up your street.
Oh, absolutely.
Before you answer, Thompson, in fact, 1 minute, Thompson, I want you to respond to that. Not what I'm going to read, what Ronald said. In fact, Zai Manuel is just saying there's a nice big ground in Soufriere has been abandoned. I played plenty cricket there, I can tell you that. In Brooklyn, they call up there, and even that is neglected as well. Yeah.
And even in Granby, Tutu's Park, we saw the video that went viral.
Oh, it's
Not
like
to
a
be
mess now up there.
England game I used to.
Yeah,
Where the
but you
Gambia
can answer what
people
Ronald was
play
saying. You can
that
answer.
song.
Thompson.
Yes,
Free-
but Ron, I agree with you. I think that is where we failed miserably in Dominica. The absence of planning, the absence of strategizing. Where are we going to be in X amount of years? No, Dominica is almost like it's just floating on a choppy sea without any kind of direction, any kind of leadership, in the place. And that's where we suffer, as you said, no planning for track and field and athletics. I mean, can you imagine the kind of talent that we have? Lobby was, I worked with Lobby in the 90s and 80s, late 80s, 90s, when we had this crop of athletes. So much, we used to beat, we had a Texaco competition, man. And they would be beating the other islands, Grenadiers and, the Windward Island Texaco competitions every year. Guys like Stephen Agar, Cedric Harris, that's supposed to be talking
The
to
Bino
us.
brothers,
The Bino brothers, Don Williams, Herbie Joseph, and you just name it. The quality of athletes we had, and in all of that heyday of track and field, that government hasn't seen it fit to do something, to build something. 20 years of waste, 20 years of neglect.
Look, we continue.
Hold on, Lobby. Cedric Harrison. Hold on. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, gentlemen.
Yeah.
In terms of this, look at the state of football in Dominica. I mean, we just play youth CONCACAF. Hello.
We're listening to you. Go on. Make your point.
I was saying that we just played a CONCACAF U20 championship. Dominica actually scored 2 goals, 16 goals scored against Dominica. We lose 3 matches straight. So football, basically, the senior team has not been performing, and also the junior team not performing. We have a situation only to get up to speed with athletics, because you have some athletes in Dominica right now that is training well. They're gonna be participating in the character game coming up soon, like Terry Hamilton. You have Addison James, he won a goal last year. You have Daniel Lice on the 200 meters athlete. You also have Terrell Etienne. He's participating.
That's the young lady in Jamaica? That's the young lady in Jamaica?
Meters dash. She's in Jamaica now. She will actually be participating in a meet in Lima, Peru, representing Dominica. She ran 11.7 in 200 meters dash. 100. And I think she's one of the fastest rising star in the Caribbean. So we're gonna be seeing good things from this youngster, right? And there was a point that was made earlier in cricket in terms of Pascal. I don't know what he's doing in Dominica, because basically he should be playing either for Combine College or the West East Academy. You can't have a young player like that sitting on a bench in Dominica and a whole set of Bajans that really over the hill are occupying spots, playing in that professional league. West Indies need to bring in there's a fast bowler. I think there's a good young fast bowler from Guyana too that needs to be in that setup. So we need to make use of the young talent, and they should be really playing in the academy, West East Academy team or the Combined College. Good program.
Thank you, brother. Australia, 369 for 9. They've just put on 101 for the last wicket. What's the name? Green is on 150, Thompson.
Incredible.
My goodness, they are 157, 167 not out. My goodness, it's 370 for 9 now. 100 for the last week. Another call on the line, Lobby. Hold on. Good evening.
Yeah. Hey, good evening.
Good evening, Cedric Harris. We're just talking about athletics, so we're just talking about athletics now. So you can tell us about your club that went to what, Martinique or Guadeloupe last weekend?
Martinique.
Okay.
So we had a team of 4 athletes and 2 officials that went to the first character trials in Martinique. And the team of Cherista Duran, Afisha Luke, Kervin Latham, and Cameron Ferrara. At the end of the day, we had
We had 3 personal bests and 1 season best. And it went as follows. We had Akisha Luke. She won the 400 meters under 17 girls in a personal best time of 61.01 seconds. Kervin Lefam won the 1500 meters for under 20 boys and in a personal best time of 4 minutes, 35.18 seconds. And we had Cherista Duran, Precious Duran, came second in the 400 meters in the open women. She ran a season best of 59.29 seconds. And then finally we had Cameron Ferrara, who ran third in the 1500 meters for boys under 17 with a personal best of 4 minutes, 57.54 seconds. These athletes went out to try to get qualified for the Carista Games, and that was the final results at the end of the day. I want to say thank you to all those who supported us in one way or the other. Special thanks also to the families and friends of the Pioneers Athletics Club. And Mr. Billy Doctor was assisted with the transportation of our athletes. So thanks to all of those, and we continue to work hard and get our athletes ready. We also...
But hold on, Cedric, let me ask you. How many athletes got qualified then from what happened on the weekend?
On the weekend, none of the athletes, none of them
qualified?
None made the qualifying standard. They got close, but none actually got the standard.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem we just lamenting, Cedric. You're taking our athletes from grass to artificial turf, but they will have a problem, you know. Not that they cannot do it. They have the talent, they have the ability. We need to do better in Dominica.
But it's go ahead.
Go on. The athletes, I mean, we are doing the best of what we have. I can say, I mean, the athletes are working hard, very hard, training.
But you know, Cedric, hold on a while. That's the point Thompson is making. Okay, you said they're working hard, but if you train on the wrong surfaces, you're not going to go forward. So Lobby was making the point to that. The athletes themselves are not advocating for a track. People are not saying anything. Everybody move, quiet, don't teach whatever.
No, Sebastian.
Don't let him answer, Lobby. Let him answer. Yeah.
No,
Cedric, you heard me? You heard what I said?
Yes, you said we're athletes advocate for a track, but as I said, we have been promised a track, and it looks like it is said that it's in the pipeline. Things happening behind the scenes that I'm not in a position to say much.
Are you a member of the Athletics Association? Are you a member of the?
I want to say that a request was made, and I think Qatar, which have with the World Athletics, has promised a few synthetic tracks to a few. I think Dominica is one of them, and also we have heard that there's also a plan with the government to partner on that. But again, I can't say much on that. I can't say I am not privy with the simple details, the finite details on there. It's just what I was said, I can repeat.
But I was asking you the question. Are you a member of the Athletics Association? I was asking the question.
No, I am not a board member.
Okay.
I am just a club that is affiliated.
Okay.
So the information that I have is what that was passed on to us meetings from the hierarchy.
Okay.
So that's most of what I can say. I can't say anything more than that.
Okay.
But I want to tell you, this weekend, there are a number of athletes that are going to be going out to Guadeloupe.
Again? For trials again?
To try and make a mark to get on to Carista. So things are happening behind the scenes. Things are happening, and hopefully we come back with some good and promising results.
How many athletes, Cedric, have qualified so far for the Carista Games?
I think it's 5.
Today there's 4
or 5.
Well, no, he's saying 3.
Three.
Okay, 3. Okay.
There's 3 athletes.
Okay.
One in Jamaica, that's Skirrell, 100, 400 meters, and we have 2 throwers down here. The
But
last year,
you notice,
javelin gold medalist and another young man.
Okay.
I mean, the real tragedy in all of this is that you can't even qualify in your own country.
True.
They are
Well, that I cannot understand. Why do they
But
have
you
to
see,
stop, hold on, Lobby. Why do they have to go to Guadeloupe and Martinique? That's what
No, but
because
this
they
is
cannot do it in Dominica.
Oh, they
not only
cannot.
that.
No, the grass.
No.
You can compete on grass and run those times.
Yeah, not
Oh.
only that, gentlemen. Sebastian, you said something earlier on there, which I just need to correct you. It's very important to train on grass. So it's very, very important
Say it
in
again.
terms of your preparation.
Mhm.
But what is happening when you have a track, the track itself going to Guadeloupe, it helps you to prepare because where you are going, you're going to run on a 400-meter track. All right, and you have to understand that. Now, having a track in your track in Dominica, it's going to help you to have more preparation meets, which they have in Guadeloupe, in all other islands that have meets, so they are well prepared. It's rather unfortunate that you have to go to Guadeloupe and Martinique, all right? And also you have in terms of the quality, the standards you have. But it's good to compete on grass. For like your preparation, you have your pre-season preparation. But it's good to have the track. Now, number one, you just hear what's happening, what they have changed this year, gentlemen. In the before, you were allowed, if you touch the inner twice, you'll be disqualified. Now once. So if you're practicing for the 400, 200 meters, you have to practice the turns, how to maneuver yourself around the bend. The 100 meters, the same thing. You have to know how to balance in the lane. So you're not just having it's very important you practice on the track. Then you run up as a jumper. It's a different feeling on the grass to the synthetic track.
So
It's
what
a
you
different
actually
feeling
saying,
altogether.
they need proper people to train these people then. Is that the point you're trying to make?
What is it?
Yeah,
No, we need a track.
yeah,
But
but you just said one in the 200 meters, when you take in the bend, you have to be properly trained to do that.
That's
That is
why you need the track. What I
Yeah,
mean
but
is
you
that-
need the track. You need to have proper people to train them as well.
No. Besides that, no, the people at home, I know they are very able. They're very capable of doing that.
Yeah,
But you need
we
the
have
track.
trained coaches in Dominica.
Yeah, you
who've
need
done
the track.
the certification process.
But Harry said something a while ago, the gentleman. He said that tracks were that
Promised by
Dominica
Qatar.
is done. All what is needed, gentlemen. First of all, the international body will assist you, gentlemen, but the government has to provide the land. That's all.
That's it, eh?
But
That's all that has to be done.
Did they say they provided land somewhere in Point Wrong? Didn't they say that? Lobby.
Well, it looks like somebody changed their mind because I said, has they grown there? Where they cut to go towards it? Has they?
No, but sports to be, none of these people agenda at all. Honest, to be honest.
What's on the agenda, Sibo? What's on the agenda?
Nothing. To do nothing. You're back up there.
Laissez-faire.
Well, when you have people that play sports in their lives, I mean, what do you expect?
No,
And
but
probably
look,
they don't know the importance, significance of sports. That's why I don't understand these people at all.
Look at what happened. You had boxing. You had a big hula hoop about said boxing. What has happened since then? Where are the boxers? Huh?
And I want to reiterate again, the T20 World Cup, we should have never lost that.
True.
What the benefits that would accrue to Dominica, the exposure Dominica would have gotten by participating in the T20 World Cup, we will never ever be able to fulfill that level of exposure.
But look at again is the thinking. You know, you're looking at cost against the benefit. Whatever cost it would have cost us to get ready, would have made that in terms of benefits to the country. In terms of marketing exposure.
Hold on, Cedric, are you still there?
Yeah, still there.
Oh, sorry. Okay, make your point. We didn't realize you were still there. Sorry about that. Sorry.
But I would want to commend you highly, Mr. Harris, for your commitment. I want to commend you very highly for your commitment. You've been there in athletics, and you've been showing commitment, and you've trying your best. But you need critical support. You need that critical support.
able to use the stadium.
Well, right now, I don't think you can use the stadium. I didn't tell you.
Stadium, nothing can be done in the stadium, man.
No, but Sebastian, you can run on the outskirts. You can run. There are things that can be done. You won't affect the field. You won't affect the field.
Well, I'm just saying to you, they said the main field will be out of commission for a few weeks because they
But you will not affect the field.
Well,
you
said,
will not affect the field at all.
As Ronald does, and to be fair, you see Cedric in the Gardens working hard with his students. To be fair,
but Sebastian, I've been there for years.
Yeah, you yourself. That's true. You yourself.
For years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, look, see, but look, God have been protecting these athletes. They haven't had major injuries there.
So Cedric, hold on. Are you going to Guadeloupe with those this week again?
Yes, I'm also going with 3 of the athletes. I went with 4 to Martinique, but this time there's 3 of mine that's going. That's Cameron Ferrara, Aki Shaluk, and Kervin. But the focus is on the athletes getting qualified for Carista. Charista is out of Carista age, so she's not part of it. But again, there are a number of other athletes that are going from the Westmar and Striders. I'm not privy to all the names, so I don't want to start calling names and forget anybody. But I can say that those 3 will be. I'll be accompanying those 3 to Guadeloupe. We go in tomorrow, come back on Sunday.
Okay.
Well,
who would you say is our brightest local prospect in athletics?
We have
Mr. Harris,
prospects, you know.
who would you say is our brightest local prospect in athletics?
You have prospects.
Brightest, we have a lot of prospects.
Give me a name
Crossman.
and where he's
I
participating.
don't single out one individual.
True.
There are a lot of promise in Dominica. I mean, we know.
Like in cricket, we have Afanaj, we have Hodge, we have Pascal. In athletics, can you identify 1 or 2 persons locally based that are most talented?
Well, if I don't start calling names and then call somebody out. But we know Alison James. Alison James, has locally grown. And he has showed us character medalists. We have a number of others that are, at the Island School Games who have done well continuously. So I don't again, I say don't go start calling names and then somebody think that I being biased, calling those of my team. Whenever I put Akisha Luke, we know that the last schoolmate, she was the most outstanding, so that is something I can say for a fact. That name is not any ghost name to call out. So, gentlemen,
anyway, Cedric, we just want to say thanks, and wish you all the best this weekend, and hope couple of the people qualify. So we can only wish you the best. So thank you very much.
And to all the athletes as well, they work on the
Your
very
1 point,
difficult
Sebastian.
conditions.
Yes, on the track. The IWF will not accept records for 100, 200, and 400 on the grass. There are things we have serious disadvantage. We have a serious disadvantage. If you have in terms of going to the Olympic Games, the World Championship, you have a sprinter. He has to be exposed on the synthetic track. He has to be exposed. So you could see the problem that the athletes are faced with. It's not easy.
Boy, athletes have all sorts of problems here. Athletes, people going away and they're telling them they wouldn't get paid when they go to. That's what they're happening here in this place. You go, a manager of a team, and they tell him he won't get paid. So all kind of crap like that going on.
I mean, it really is a miracle that our office even go as far as they get. It really is a miracle. So I really want to big up the athletes, who
of course
persevere under those conditions. I watch them practice in the gardens, and I'm like, man, we were doing that 40 years ago, man. I mean, come on, it's painful, Sibo. It's painful.
Fountain, we are primitive. We are just primitive.
That's like prehistoric times.
Yeah, I mean, it was acceptable 40 years ago. It cannot be acceptable now, 40 years later.
I see we are coming to the end of the program, and I would just like to make a closing comment. I have a lot of respect for Lockhart Sebastian in cricket. He's the connoisseur for cricket, what he's able to achieve and so on. But I've got a slight differing opinion from him on the case of Stefan Pascal.
Go on.
Stefan Pascal, captain of the under-19 West Indies team, was from Barbados, Jamaica, Guyana. He would be on a team.
No,
I'm saying, please, whatever we can do, Sibo.
Do you know the
let's see how
West
we could
Indies
influence
under 19
inclusion.
captain that be from the Windward Islands? Are you aware of that?
Who are they playing for now?
One is playing for the Windward Islands, Melias. He was the captain before Ali came. He's the captain. That's what I'm saying. The last three West Indies under 19
is very
have been
good.
from the Windward Islands.
Which is very good.
Then you had Okies from St. Lucia.
But no, we've got
But
a
you're
Dominican.
going over it the wrong way. When you say that, shallow, no president anywhere should be involved in selection of anybody. Full stop. When you have that, and that has happened before where people behind the scene, and if you're a strong selector, you'll tell them go to hell. I'll tell you that.
You have to tell a lot of people that.
Right? Because no president who don't know about cricket. So this president never played cricket. So they don't know anything. They can't come and tell you, pick so and so.
I'm not saying pick and consider.
No, but I think the point that Ron is making that I want to strengthen is that is based on talent and ability and exposure. And now is a good time, especially an opener. You know, West Indies lack quality openers. He's an opener. It's a great time to get him into one of those teams. I don't know, combine whatever university, get him into one of those teams and have him.
Let me tell you something. Okay, Gian Benjamin, right? You know he went to UWI, right? And he's made runs, and we've been trying. We spoke to the people that in charge of the campuses team. What they're saying is that you have to be enrolled in a college. That's part of the qualification to play for the CCC team. That's what he was told. You
So why can't he enroll in UWI then? Have him enroll in UWI.
You mean Stefan? You mean that Pascal?
Pascal, it doesn't.
Well, the parents will have to be involved in that.
Have him enrolled, but
the parents have to be involved in that.
But just now, I brought up that same question. The same thing about UWI. It's not the first. I brought the same thing. First of all, I'm amazed. There should be, in terms of the criteria, because we have had Dominicans, you have had Alec, you had Sebastian, you had Hodge, you had this young man there. How did they get there? Was the association
What I can tell you, when Liam and them were, they were the first to go, right? You had Liam.
How they got there?
Well, let me explain. You had Liam from Dominica. You had Bascom, who is now director of St. Vincent. You had Craig Emmanuel from St. Lucia. Well, you had two from St. Vincent. Currency was there as well.
Right.
Hilary Beckles was, as you know, in Barbados. He was the professor there.
Very positive.
And that's very important. He was the driving force behind that to get all what you see have happened in Barbados, the athletic, everything, Hilary Beckles. So he was there, he organized this, everything, the playing field, everything around there. So these guys got scholarships. Even when Liam and Bascom, they were the only two who did their masters. The university gave both of them scholarships to do that, right? Then after that, some others followed, like Calvin Hodge, Gian Benjamin himself, couple from St. Lucia. But things have changed. Hilary Beckles is no longer domiciled in Barbados. It's probably somewhere in Jamaica. The Roland Butcher is no longer there. Rifa is not in. So the whole thing has changed. That's what I'm saying. So people know, if you want, you probably have to go register your kid or whatever to get there. They still play in the Barbados Championship, the combined campuses in Barbados play in the Premier League in Barbados. But that's how it is now. It's different now.
So
go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that what you're saying is that all along the West Indies board had no input in that in terms of selection of
they had an input at one time. They were using the facilities there. So you remember when they had like the mini academy, because it really was UWI ground they were using, but now they have moved to Antigua. So the board at one point made an input. Now they have nothing to do with that.
But also at the same time, and the point that Mano is raising is a good one. That is that should be part of the planning from the
Of
West
course.
Indies standpoint. How do you get your young, talented players
of course.
into the because that's how we improve. The guys have to
Balance
be
growth,
playing at the
balance
senior
growth.
level.
Well, I've always had a problem, even when I was manager of Windwards, with the CCC team. I always felt it was a Bajan thing, and mostly Bajan. Right now, there are about 8 or 9 Bajans on the team. And some of them probably not
And
good
you
enough.
still have a Bajan team, and
Yeah.
you still have Bajans playing on other teams.
But
We want to know what team is doing very well.
But no, when you have 2.
2 we have?
The wicketkeeper is 1 as well. We have 3 for, Barbados have no foreign people in their team. Listen, I check it through that team, no foreign people. The Guyana have no foreign people. The only 2 teams that have foreigners are Windwards and Leewards. Leewards have Graves, and who's the other one? And another one. Windwards are free. We are free
So
foreign
Sibo,
people.
it tells me that somebody's talking for the country.
Well, I
Somebody's
have a
taking
problem with
for
that.
the players.
Always-
That's what
I'll say
we need to do
hopefully
in Dominica.
Windward Islands should play at Windward Island. I think we have
That is
good
what we
enough
need to
players.
do. We need to do more of
enough
it. We must
of it.
look up.
But ladies and gentlemen, we look like we have to come to our program. I'm seeing somebody here is close to my neck, and we don't want to go overboard. So, Jais, on behalf of Ronald Lander, Tom Fontaine, Emmanuel LeBlanc, I want to say good night, and we'll be back here next week. And
Okay.
sorry. Good evening, guys. Have a good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, gentlemen.
I didn't realize the time. Sorry.